Hi everyone, welcome back to SlimChat. It's Tracy. Good morning, or should I say, probably early afternoon. I slept the morning away, but to be honest, I did go to bed late, but not really as late as that. Found it very hard to wake up today. I think I could have slept a lot longer, but I think Gary was trying to wake me up because he wanted to go out. That's not happened though. I just kept crashing back out again. I was in a real, when you've got that, you wake up, but you're, no, just going to go back off. That's how I was this morning, quite woozy. And I cut the medication in half, but it's still kind of the same. So, I don't know. Don't know what to do really there. I don't like that feeling. I'm not one of these people who enjoy the wooziness of drugs. It doesn't really float my boat, and I hate feeling a bit iffy on my feet, which I was yesterday. Had to sit down rather a lot because otherwise I might fall down. So I didn't really enjoy that at all. I bit my tongue though. I was laying on this side, so that kind of pushes it all together. And as I turned, I really kind of bit it, and that woke me up. That did wake me up. But I do feel a little bit more of a setback today, probably because of an enormous amount of singing last night. Gary and I were listening to music, and I do love that when we sit there and we play a kind of like favourite tracks and some of the old ones we've not played for a long time. And so I was playing a bit of Linkin Park and Theory of a Dead Man and Oasis acoustic. We was doing a lot of acoustics. We did some Radiohead. What else did we play? Gary played a bit of Peter Tosh because he does like Marley and Tosh quite a lot. And some ska, and I played mostly kind of soft rock or the occasional thing like, he played a bit of Rod Stewart as well, but I kind of did mostly my usual really. Well, I did play Madness because I love Night Boat to Cairo. I know Gary was quite intrigued when we first met that I knew all the words to that, and they're quite funny. So if you've never heard Night Boat to Cairo, you need to. It's one of my favourites. They're brilliant words. They're just brilliant words. Just pick them, find the words. They're so funny. I love Madness. When I was at school, I was a big Madness fan. And the specials and lots of them. And we used to go to ska gigs, Gary and I. We used to follow a band that were local. They were called Scardy Cat. And I first found Scardy Cat when I was hanging around with one of my friends called Nikki before I met Gary. And we used to go to their gigs and follow them around a lot. And they played all ska, not just Madness, but the specials, the beat. They played Toots and Scarman. They were Toots and the Maytals, sorry. Toots and Scarman were another band that were local. But they played all of them. And some I'd never heard of as well, which was great. I'm going to put the fan on, sorry. And we used to go to these gigs. And then I met Gary, and so I started taking Gary along. And from there, we went gigging. And we did a lot of gigs. And last night, we almost went to another one because Bryan Adams was meant to be at Canterbury Spitfire Ground this summer. And at the time it was announced, I said, no, it's going to get cancelled. I don't really want to pay for it. And then, they probably refund. But at the same time, I thought, what's the point? At the time I didn't have money to burn. So, and they're not cheap. I know I always pay for VIP tickets so I can get up the front section. I don't like, sometimes about on my way to the front, not good, I don't know why. But not often, quite happy to. Gary doesn't like being right at the front. So we normally, as long as we've got a good view, it's all right. And at the Spitfire Ground, you do get a good view anyway, no matter where you are, because you're up on a high stage. But I've seen Bryan Adams a few times. So he said, well, we could go and see him, they're starting to do gigs, something download festivals going on. Well, it has been this last weekend. So Mike and Gemma were going to go to that, and I was going to look after Tyler for the weekend. But it's a good job they didn't go because I was in hospital. But, it obviously didn't happen because of COVID. But then they did let it go on. But it wouldn't have been one for Mike and Gemma to go to at this sort of time. So anyway, I looked it up, but it's cancelled, so we didn't go. But we went rather a lot of gigs, you know. We've been, last gig we saw was probably the specials, but it might have been, we saw Tears for Fears, and I used to love Tears for Fears back in the 80s. I mean, big love of Tears for Fears. And they were at the Spitfire Grand. That was really good. And they were there with ABC, who had lots of hits in the 80s as well. And they were both really good. Previous to that, we saw UB40 there, and they were with the Wailers. That was brilliant. Really good, you know. Obviously no Bob Marley, but you know, the Wailers were there, and they were really good. So we've been to lots of gigs. Oh no, hang on, the Wailers, we might have seen them with the specials. There was someone else though with UB40 that was famous, but I can't remember who it was now. Gary, I remember. He remembers everything. Not me. I kind of go remember, and then when someone jogs, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember that. I have a good time at the time, but it just, you know, doesn't stay anymore. Unfortunately, I used to have like a brilliant memory where everything's stuck in there, but not so much now, which is worrying. It's like a sieve now. Got lots of holes where info leaks out. Not as sharp as it was. So yesterday, it was, hey, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump you full of lead. 1, 2, 10. Was, of course, Gangster Johnny from Home Alone in that movie that Kevin was watching. And I don't think anyone got Gangster Johnny, but everyone got the movie. And that's Julie Batten, Nancy Reimer and Verna Bradshaw, Jane Licorice's mum, Linda Fairbrother, Carol Ray, Margie, Linnell and Ann Cooper. And I need to start writing that neater. Today, your scientists are so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Where's that from? Who said it? You can give me the character name. Who said it? Where's it from? It is easy. Ow. It is easy, but it's also old-ish. But probably one you've watched a lot, if you're anything like my family. We watched that a lot back then. So, roast today. Not one that we're cooking. We're going to Charlotte's because it's Gary's Father's Day meal. We couldn't go yesterday, so we're doing that today. And I said to her, because at one point I wasn't sure if I would be able to go, and she said she'd cook me soup, and I said, well, it depends how I feel really. If it felt awful, I would stay at home and stay in bed and then just have soup when I fancied it. But yesterday I attempted to eat lumps. You know, I say lumps, I mean proper food that you have to chew. So the first thing I ate was, I didn't have breakfast, and I was growling away during my chat. So I had a piece of quiche, and it wasn't really crunchy. You know, when it's brand new cooked, the pastry's all crunchy, whereas it was more here. I've gone a bit soggy, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's that in between stage of being too soggy to want to eat it and being just not crunchy anymore. So anyway, I ate that and it was nice, and I managed to eat it a bit slow and a bit small pieces, but I did manage. The pastry was a bit harder to eat, even though it wasn't as short as it was when I first did it. It's still drooling. So that was harder to eat but I got it down, and with the aid of water sips. So I was on kind of like, infused that I managed to eat solids. So come dinner time, Gary made a jacket potato, which is a potato baked in its skin, and we had it with beans, like baked beans, and he made sausages. Well, I couldn't eat the sausage, it was just too hard and it hurt too much, so I just figured I'd just have the potato and the beans, but I didn't eat the skin because that as well, it wasn't crunchy skin, but it was just too much to keep chewing. So I scooped out the potato and I ate the potato and beans, and that was fine. Still took me a while, and I managed to get it down, but it hurt. So I figured today it was going to be, I'd just mash the veggies. I probably won't get to eat any meat. I might try some, but I don't have any hopes that it's going to be easy. Oh, it's the drooling had stopped. God, I feel like one of them St Bernard dogs or whatever they are that constantly drool. Oh dear, oh dear. Hope that goes. I know it's because my tongue's not moving properly, and well, I hope it does in the end. I hope it comes back. And I don't always have this weird altered sensation. It said I could have that, you know. When I read the aftercare leaflet, it said you may have ongoing altered sensation, and I didn't read them all. I did, but I kind of glossed over it and thought, oh, maybe that's if you have like major tongue surgery. And mine was just the side. But you know, there is a possibility that I will things won't be the same, which is sad, and I don't want that. So I'm hoping it heals really well. I keep looking at it. It's a bit white, so I'm kind of a bit concerned. Hope it doesn't get any infections. But I think it's just where at first it was all grey because the stuff they inject in just takes the colour out of your tongue. So I had like a big grey side. But I don't, and it said you may have bruising. I don't have any bruising, so I don't think it's too bad anyway. We just have to see how it heals. But I'm hoping the drooling stops, because it's a little annoying, just a bit. Turn the fan off now. Cool down. I'm very red in the face. I've got a bit of makeup on to hide it, but I've noticed that I am very red, and I don't know why that should be. Gary said maybe it's the medications that I'm on, but I don't think so. I think possibly a slight temperature, because even though it's not warm, I still have to keep putting the fan on every now and then. But I'm hoping it's not, you know. And no, but also the Lanzaprazole, or one of them, is making my face itch, and that's probably causing a bit of redness, a little bit of rashing. I don't know. They said that those symptoms, if they're mild symptoms, will go within a week. So hopefully it'll go. I mean, obviously I couldn't take them properly. So I had this operation, and then I wasn't taking the Gaviscon, which I'm now taking it religiously. See if it works. Something needs to work on this throat. I wonder if you can get a neck transplant. That might be the only option for me. A neck. I don't know, a head transplant would be good, and have a nice prettier one, you know. Thinner, less spotty, prettier head would be nice. I think it would be a good idea one of these days when they can take your brain out, put it in an android of your choosing. That might be fun. On a durable body that doesn't run out, and then they can just give your brain drugs to keep it renewing. You can live forever then. I'm one of these people that wants to live forever, you know. There's some people like, oh no, I don't really want that. And it would be awful when all your loved ones die and you haven't got them anymore. And I thought, well, they could have it done as well. And we'll be together forever. But no, I'm one of these people that, you know, will think of every possible sci-fi method of staying around forever. One of these people as well that just can't contemplate the life going on in this planet with you not being able to think and be part of it. It does my brain in, and I don't like to think about it, but it pops into your head every now and then, you know, your immortality, and that life will go on, thank you very much, quite nicely without you. And it's like, no, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, how could that happen? And then you get these, I saw something on the TV yesterday that where they believed that your I think it was Joan Collins, actually. There was an interview. Piers Morgan, don't like him, don't watch him very often, but I watched Joan Collins, and when her sister died, there was a fly that kept coming and sitting by her, and she thought that was the consciousness of her sister, and that she believes that, you know, when you die, the soul can carry on and live again and other things, and that was a popular belief when I was a child, that we're some kind of reincarnation where your soul can carry on and you'll be part of this, however. But my dad pooed that idea to me once and ruined that kind of little thing by saying, tell me this then. If that happens, how come if you go back, say, 200-300 years, there's an awful lot less people on the planet then? Where have all the new extra souls come from? It stumped me a little bit. And I said, maybe there were a lot more animals back then. He said, I think it's just wishful thinking, Trace. I don't think it's true. So I was like, he was a firm believer that we were brought here by aliens. That's why they can't find proper missing links, because we were actually here by aliens. And all those cave paintings for those races that saw beings coming down from the sky with the sound of great whooshing, and they look like they're sitting in a spaceship, just bore out his theory that we were actually put here by aliens. So, you know, he didn't see his theory any more crazy than mine. Anyway, I've babbled on enough about stuff, and pretty soon, hopefully, there'll be some dieting going on this channel, because after all, it is a diet channel. And to be fair, though, I mean, not much food is passing these lips, so, you know, if I'm not losing any weight, there'll be trouble, because I know I'm not doing a great deal, so that's obviously, I'm not like shopping till I drop anymore like I was, or, you know, walking around loads and loads like I was, because obviously I'm off my legs a bit, as the doctors in this country always used to say. So, Drew Lynn. So yeah, but I can't really eat, so I'm not sitting there, although I did have some ice cream yesterday as well, I forgot to mention that. And I had two. I had a Ben & Jerry's Core Sundae and some strawberry ice cream. And I said to Gary, I'll try the strawberry, because I thought the Core Sundae has got bits of chocolate, which I might find hard to eat. What one did he bring me? He brought me the hard one to eat, and I didn't find eating those. It took me ages, took me a whole way through Formula One to eat that, all the way. And I still hadn't finished at the end, because it was those little bits of, they're only tiny squares, about the size of your fingernail, that one. But I had to let them dissolve, because I just couldn't eat them. So yeah. So anyway, I did have something naughty, but mostly not much food is passing these lips. So that surely constitutes that there should be some kind of weight loss. I'm very rumbly in the tum, I know that. Anyway, I'm going to get off, and I'm going to sort of upload these videos. Stay safe, take care. Good luck with the movie quote. Shouldn't be too hard. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.